Okay, so you know those headlines that you click even when you swear you won't? Yeah, that is absolutely no accident. Today, I am breaking down the exact psychology behind viral Buzzfeed headlines so you can steal their clickiness for your own content. And trust me, once you see how they do it, you will never look at a headline the same way again. Love them or hate them, BuzzFeed has mastered the art of stopping the scroll. Their headlines are written to evoke curiosity, identity, and urgency. So whether you want to write better subject lines, social hooks, ads, or YouTube titles, I'm going to show you how you can piggyback on these 4 psychological triggers to get so many clicks, it kind of feels like it's cheating. So let's count them down, starting with headline number 1, 22 affordable fall Prime Day treats to buy instead of a $7 coffee. Okay, so this headline is doing a lot more than it seems at first glance. First, it is using numbers. You probably already know that numbers grab our attention because they open what is called a preview open loop. We know there are going to be 22 things on this list, and we want to know what they are, all 22 of them. But using specific numbers like 22 instead of 20 is even better because specificity makes it feel different and it interrupts the pattern of seeing round numbers absolutely everywhere. Now, the second thing this headline does is create contrast and comparison by saying, instead of a $7 coffee. That teeny tiny little phrase instantly gives you an idea of how much the things on this list cost and makes them feel a little bit more affordable by comparison. But it also calls out those of us who spend $7 on a coffee. Like, if I can spend $7 on a coffee, then surely I can afford a thing or two on this list. So they are smashing price objections and calling out their target audience right there in the headline. It is stupidly genius. So how can you piggyback off the same principles used in this headline? Well, think about how you can use specificity and contrast in your hooks and headlines. So try this formula. Number, adjective or desirable thing to do, buy, or try instead of guilty pleasure or common habit. Something like 7 easy messaging tweaks to try instead of discounting your prices. All right, moving on to headline number 2. I am actually speechless after seeing these 25 absolutely mind-blowing photos that completely, totally, and utterly shattered my tiny little peanut brain last week. Okay, so obviously that was a mouthful. This is not a technique you could use in a subject line. That would be very, very long. But the abnormally long length and run-on nature of this headline is actually really effective as a pattern interrupt because honestly, it reads exactly like your flabbergasted best friend might talk. But our brains aren't used to seeing like long-winded headlines like this. So when we do, we're immediately like, wait, what did that just say? We have to read it. But the length isn't the only reason why this headline works, in my opinion. It is full of over-the-top exaggerations, right? Speechless, mind-blowing, shattered my tiny little peanut brain. I really like that one. But it's so over the top that it actually doesn't feel fake or like they're trying to trick you. They want you to know they're exaggerating. It is meant to be funny. If they just used one of those words, then maybe it would be like a little over the top. But because there are so many, we know that it is a joke. And even though it's a joke and we know they're exaggerating, we still want to click because we're curious to find out what it's talking about, right? It makes you feel something, and that is something that BuzzFeed is really good at, turning information into emotion, into action. So how can you piggyback off the same principles used here? Well, think about how you can use emotional exaggeration to, and this is the key word here, a humorous extent. So try this formula. I'm emotional reaction after action or discovery, that exaggerated result or another reaction, right? Something like, I am honestly so shook after these 3 subject lines exploded my open rates that I don't think I can ever send another email again, ever. I have no idea if people still say shook, but you know where I'm going with this one. And by the way, if you love these breakdowns, make sure to subscribe to my channel below and tap that bell to be notified when my next video goes live, because I love doing these behind the scenes critiques and audits with you. All right, moving on to headline number 3. After keeping a low profile for years, Jonah Hill was photographed on the set of his new movie, and he looks completely unrecognizable. All right, so this one is pretty obvious why it works. It opens a massive open loop, right? That makes you so curious to see what he looks like now. After keeping a low profile, you might think, ooh, low profile? What happened? Why is he keeping it on the DL? Is it a little bit suspicious? I don't know, right? And then saying completely unrecognizable. It's a classic, like, wait till you see this cliffhanger hook. Now, this headline really isn't about Jonah Hill. I mean, the people reading this might not even know who that is, but they click this headline because they want to see the transformation. Your brain wants to see the before and after. It really doesn't care who the before and after is about. So how can you piggyback on this same principle used here? Well, think about how you can really utilize transformation to create curiosity. And I recommend you try this formula. After period of change or struggle, a person or you reveal of a new outcome and an unexpected or impressive result. So something like, after seriously burning out last year, I rebuilt my business from scratch, and wait till you see my bank account now. Or you can take a different angle and apply this same transformation curiosity hook to just everyday titles. Like, instead of saying how I built my email list, you might say, I disappeared for 3 months and I came back with 10,000 subscribers. Notice how this concept is similar, but it is using different words to showcase that before and after. So I hope you're starting to see how you can use these principles without relying on specific prompts. Just think of the concept and then apply it to anything you want to write about. All right, last one on the list, headline number 4, the 17 creepiest photos the internet has to offer right now, because why would you want to sleep tonight? So I really love this one. It is like curiosity crack. The stretched out creepiest that's used here is so good. It's playful and it automatically adds a ton of personality and humor. Now, of course, these headlines were published in early October, aka spooky season, so the headline feels very timely and relevant as well. And the section that says the internet has to offer right now adds major relevancy and even a little bit of urgency. It kind of makes you feel like maybe you're missing out on something that's happening right now if you don't click and look at that article. So how can you piggyback on the same principles here? Think about how you can utilize playful urgency. Try this formula. Adjective, thing the internet can't stop talking about right now, right? Pretty simple. Something like 4 viral headlines the internet is obsessed with right now and how to copy them. See what I did there? And just like that, you've got headlines so effective, it almost feels like you're cheating. And if you want to make writing headlines even easier in your business, just scan this QR code or click the link in the description box below to grab a copy of my free 99 hooks swipe file. If you love videos like this and want to see more of them, drop me a comment below and let me know. I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. Before you go, if you liked that video, make sure to check out this one next. Today, I am giving you 10 social media hooks that actually make people stop and pay attention based on real data from some of my top performing Instagram posts this year.